create a new project here, and let me name this project ticketing system. Can't think of a better name here. Ticketing system. Let me say that. Let me create a new class out of it, and let me call this ticketing system. So create a ticket class that includes at least the following details: ticket number and timestamp. Simulate the arrival of customers by generating ticket. Heading into the queue. Process ticket phase. Implement the system. Choose a ticket and serve by displaying the details of the ticket being processed to introduce a simple form of timing where tickets are generated at random intervals and the serving timing varies slightly. Alright, so to create a ticket class that includes at least the following details, so at least ticket number and timestamp. What should I say? Let me just say static. And the reason why I'll say static, it's so that I can access it in my test cases or in my test class. So say static class, say ticket, and I'm gonna say private here. I'm gonna say final. I'm gonna say integer number. Right. This is a ticket number. And timestamp. I'm gonna say private. I'm gonna say final. And this being a timestamp, I know it gotta be like some kind of like local date. Is it local date? Yeah, local date. I think I gotta import. I'm pretty sure I gotta import. Yeah, I gotta import the local date. Right. Actually make it. Let me see timestamp. That will work as well. I'm not sure. Local date time. Let me see if there's an import for that. Oh, okay, perfect. So I'm going to delete that. All right, so let me create a. Let me construct a ticket object here, and I'll construct it by saying. Let me say. How do I do this? Public. So it's public, right? So I say public. No, actually, let me just say ticket here. Ticket. Okay. And I'm going to have a parameter for the number and the timestamp, which is when the ticket was created. So let me say, integer number. Let me say, it's local. I can never forget that. Local date time. No, actually, no. Yeah, date time. Say time stamp. Okay, and let me actually try to create a format for this here. Let me say this is just to help me with the formatting. I know I'll need that. Say date, time. Yeah, I think it's daytime formatter or something like that. Formatter. And of course, these are things that a normal IDE would autocomplete for you. So, but it's always good to know. Yeah, so let me say the date, time, formatter. Let me say I want the pattern, right? So I'm gonna have the pattern something like this. So I'm gonna have the hour, I'm gonna have the minutes, right? I'm gonna have the seconds, say, right? Let me continue here with the construction here of this ticket object. Let me say this number, also number, and I'll say this timestamp is equal to timestamp. Way over here. All right, I'm continue here. Let me create some getters here. I'll say, actually, see that. Let's see here. Let me say number. Let me say this is what local take time, right? Local time. Let's say get timestamp. Let me create a. Let me override the string Java object here to work with this. Let me say say public, right? So, let me say public string and to string. I say return the string format. I'm not completely certain about the format. I know I should have the percentage s for it. Hold on, let me see here. And I should have like some kind of pound here. Let me say pound. Let me just go with what I know for now. I'm gonna say right. And oh well, yeah. Let me say percentage here 03D. And I'm gonna say yeah the number, the timestamp, and then this timestamp I'm gonna format I'm gonna format the datetime formatter, right? This is like that, and let me add this, and hold on, let me push here. Let me actually add let me also add this. Let me add cross break. So let me say, what do we have here? Did I do something wrong here? Hold on. Let me remove this here. Let me add. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah. All right. So let's generate the ticket phase. Simulate the arrival of customers by generating let me create some comments here. Let me say this parameter here, parameter number, right? So sequential, let's say like, because I read some, yeah, the arrival of customers by generating ticket objects. All right, so this is a sequential ticket number, and this parameter here, the oh yeah, the times, I was going to say ticket. Timestamp is a time, right? The ticket was created. All right, and now generate ticket phase. Simulate the arrival of customers by generating ticket objects and adding them to the queue. Okay, let me say, so tickets phase. Let me say, let me say, so simulate the arrival of customers by generating. So we're gonna generate, so tickets, right? And let me by generating ticket objects, right? So the ticket objects and adding them to the queue. So queue, I'm gonna say queue. I'm gonna add queue here, and I'm gonna add the ticket objects, right? I'm gonna call you ticket here, and I'm gonna call this queue. Queue like this, and let me say count here. Let me look at counter. I could be bad at this, to be honest. This might not work, but let's see how far we can get with it. All right, let me create like let's say like a random here, and I'll call this new random. Sure, I'm gonna import that. Let's go ahead and import queue. Let's import random. Let me shorten this random to rand, like that. And let me have a arrival of customers by generating ticket objects, adding them to the queue. So let me say like a delay here. Let me add a delay, and in this delay, I'm gonna need I'm gonna need some constants. Let me add some constants here. Let me add some constants. Let me call. Let me say. Static final. This is so that I can access it, right? And I'll say like the total. Let me say like, so the total. Right, the total tickets, and I don't know. Let me just say 10. All right. This is like. This is like how many customers. Let me add the comments later, but say a private is going to be an integer, and I'm going to call this, like I'm going to have like the fastest arrival. So to have the fastest arrival, I'm going to say the minimum that takes to generate. I'm going to say, should I just shorten this? It's going to be really long. All right, let me just say lays. I'm gonna say milliseconds. Let me say 200 here. Let me just say 200. Okay, and this. See, it is integer. I'm gonna call the slowest arrival, right? And I'm gonna say, cause like I'm gonna say max, but before I even say max, so I'm gonna say like this is the fastest arrival, and I'm gonna slowest. I say I can just do delay. And in a second, let me shorten this as well and say, yeah. What am I gonna put here? I'm gonna say, oh my goodness, why is it not working? All right, let me just say 800 here. All right, and then let me say private. Let me say, I also want now the fastest service time. So we have the fastest arrival, slowest arrival. We have the fastest servicing time, and let me say like right, fastest service time, and I'm gonna say service. All right, so service. I'm gonna say delay. Actually, let me shorten this. Let me just say, yeah, service is fine. Max. Let me say gen for generation. Let me say like that. I really want to shorten because these names are very long. Usually, it's okay to write the full name as you know. The more descriptive, the better. But yeah, this helps as well other developers, of course, work on your program and understand as they work through it. So I'm gonna say private. So we have the fastest service time, and then we're gonna have the slowest service time. And I'll do that by doing an integer, and I'll say max service delay, and let me just say 1,000 here, right? So this is the slowest. Right? Oh, okay. So the slowest service time. Okay. And what was I? Where was I? All right, so let me say, what am I gonna? Um, Let me see. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I have. Um, you know what? Because then if I'm gonna have to look through this. Hold on. I think I'm gonna have to look through this because let me loop through. Let me say. Let me test something. Let me say I equals to 1, right? And I'll say I is less than or equal to the parameter count, right? Yeah. So let me increment this. So like, and now I can. Yeah. Let me enter this delay integer inside this loop here, inside the condition. Inside the condition. Let me say. Because I want to calculate like a random delay between the minimum and the maximum generation times. And let me say the rand, right? So it's like, since like just random delays, I'm going to use the rand, and I'm going to say, let me say the next integer. Yeah. And let me say, I should have some shortcuts for this. It's going to be a lot. Let me say max gen delay minus sorry, minus the gen delay, let me say +1. Okay, and let me say, let me just shorten here. It's gonna be let me do something here for better readability. Let me say minimum generation delay. All right, and this is like, let me say like a, let me pause. Man, come on. Oh man. All right, let me just say thread here. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's much better. Man, so I'm gonna like pause to simulate the customer arrival interval, and I'm gonna say like slip, and I'll use a delay inside here. Let me create a new ticket with like sequential number and current time, and I'll say ticket, new ticket. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say Just say like now for it. We queue this. We offer ticket, which just unqueues the ticket, right? I want to say like something unqueues ticket. Okay. Let me just do a quick system here. Come on. And we have something like, let me pass here the ticket here. Right. It's gonna be now process ticket phase. Alright, so we're gonna dequeue this and served. So this is the arrival, right? Say and here's a serving. But I don't think I understood this quite well. Cool. The details of the ticket being processed. Okay, let me say like public. I'm gonna say public static. I want to go slow about this because tickets are queued and served. So let me say process. So I'm gonna call your queue on this. Say the ticket here. I'm gonna say ticket here, and I'll call queue here as well. And sorry. Let me do something like this. Let me do a random here. Calls. Why didn't I? Oh, okay. New random. Okay. So where tickets are dequeued and served by displaying the details of it. So generate simulates arrival. Tickets phase is this are dequeued and served. Oh, okay. So dequeued and served. So I'm gonna say while. And let me negate this. Let me negate this by saying the queue here, and let me make sure if it's empty or not. All right. So as long as it's not empty, save me some processing time here. I'm gonna say call it integer here, and let me say service time. Right. Served by displaying the data of the ticket being processed. So I'm saying like service time, and let me say rand. To get myself a new keyboard. So let me like randomize the service time again between the minimum and the max. Let me say max service here, right? Because we're doing service now. All right, so let me say max service delay minus the minimum service, right? Which is basically the slowest service minus the fastest service time. Okay, say that. Right, means service delay. Right, let's see, plus 1 here. Oh, and I'll say plus the minimum service delay, right? And let's have the thread here, sleep here, which like again pauses the service to simulate when it's being provided. Oh, essentially pauses to simulate when the service is being provided. And so I'm going to say thread sleep and I'm going to pass here the service time. All right, the service time. I'm recording. Pass here the service time and pass here the ticket. Tickets. Kill. And Paul this here. Oh, sorry, but let me see Paul. Ticket. So what I'm doing here is I'm dequeuing. Let me say I'm dequeuing and cause we gotta like what? Yeah, we gotta dequeue. I wanna say like I'm gonna dequeue. Dequeue. Sorry, I kind of lost focus a little bit here. Got distracted here in my environment here. Okay, let me go here, search time here, and let me display the details, right? Kind of lost track here of what I was doing, but okay, back in track here. So we're gonna do like we're gonna display, and let me just say the ticket here, right? Queued and served, right? Served, right? This is serve. The next ticket, right? Okay. See here, let me compile this. Timing. Introduce a simple. Okay. So introduce a simple form of timing where tickets are generated at random intervals and the serving time may vary slightly. Wait, hold on, let me read that one more time. So basically, introduce a simple form of timing where tickets are generated at random intervals and the serving time may vary slightly. Let me create a. So this is like a main, right? Let me just say, no, not private. Let me say public. Let me say void here. Let me say main. So I'm gonna say string Okay, so from what I understand, you're allowed to processing phases, but you can generate all tickets very fast and then process them in the next. Gotta excuse me for the noise here in the background again. But yeah, so hold on, let me see. Let me cue here. Will that even work? Say like that. So I'm just using the linked list for the keyway implementation here, right? Say this is gonna print like something like, say like generating I'm gonna import that, of course. Gotta import that. Gotta import that. And this is not perfect, of course, but let me say generated at random intervals. Okay, so that means that generated at random intervals. Let me say the queue, and I'm gonna let me call the total tickets here. And let me say oh, that's a typo. Wait, I have a typo here. Oh, alright. Okay, and let me say system. And here we have the processing tickets, right? I'm gonna say processing tickets. And I'm gonna say I'm gonna process the tickets here. Queue them here. Let's say queue. Okay. I'm gonna queue this. Alright, let's try to solve these errors here. Is this not the correct? Let's see. Hold on, let me come back to that very soon. I feel like I'm missing something here. Where's the other error? Alright, let's comment this out here for now. I'll get back to it later. I just want to have something running here. Oh yeah, because then I have the delay here. Oh, interrupted exception needs to be handled. Surround this line with a try catch and just oh uh mm, you know what? Actually, let me throw. Which one should I select? Let me throw. How do I exit this thing? Let me throw. What is this? Generate ticket. Let me throw here. Let me just do something like this. Let's see if that will work. What was that again? Interrupted? Interrupted. Interrupted. Exception. That's what it was? Alright, okay. We fixed that. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have this everywhere. Oof. Oh, year two. What do we have here? What is this? The main? Wait, hold on. Same two though. What is that? Should I throw that? Alright, let me just say. Say. Interrupted. Interrupted exception. And this is because of the sleep. It should be the sleep thread. But yeah, there's interrupted exception. Where else? Where else? Where else? Where else? That's an interrupted exception. All right. Let me go with the throws. This is because I just don't want to do the try catch. It could be better in most cases anyway. So, but I'm just gonna simplify your exception here. Is that correct even? All right. Okay. How are we looking? All right. So at least we got this to compile. I definitely gotta run some test cases on this. Let me just see something here. Hold on. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is because of the string builder that I comment out. It is still working essentially. I'm happy about that, right? These are just the string IDs. So we have it somewhat working.